Very nice to see you. Welcome back to New Hampshire.
It's great to be back.
I see your first stop is in the North Country of New Hampshire, and I know that's going to make a lot of people who live up there very happy to have a big-name visit from someone like yourself.
Well, I think it's very important to to get started and go around the state and meet people and to talk to people and to get their views. And what better place to start than at Bretton Woods, where the Accords was signed. It's a historic place, and it's a wonderful community. And the Littleton Chamber of Commerce was nice enough to invite me, so this is a good opportunity.
Tomorrow you're speaking to the Republican Party convention.
Yes,
a lot of activists gathered here in Manchester. The last time you were here, it was Election Day. On that day, New Hampshire Republicans really took it on the chin. So what's your message going to be to Republicans to buck them up for 2008 and the primary season?
My message is we got to put our eyes toward the future. I mean, I think we're the party of the future. I think we're the party that best understands how to have disciplined government, how to have fiscal discipline, how to reduce taxes, how to create a stable environment and then a growing economy. I think we have to remind ourselves of all the wonderful things that the Republican Party has done, kind of like in the spirit of Ronald Reagan, who was my boss. We should be a party of optimism and a party of the future. And sure, I mean, you go through elections, you win some, you lose some, but I think long-term the Republican Party is a party of the future, and we should have a lot of enthusiasm about the upcoming elections.
Where are you in your process of deciding whether or not to make that final step and become an official presidential candidate?
Judith and I are exploring. We have an exploratory committee. Exploratory committee does exactly what it sort of says. You look at what's the right message, what are your ideas, what kind of unique contribution do you think you can make, and can you put the organization together? So that we're in the process of doing that, and so far it's pretty darn encouraging.
What do you say to the people that say you're just too moderate for a Republican primary victory with all those conservative voters out there? What would you say to that?
I think, give people a chance to make up their minds. I mean, you shouldn't label people. You should take a look at their full set of views. What are their views on foreign policy? What are their views on the military? What are their views on tax cutting? What are their views on disciplined government? And in my case, I have a record, not just a set of views. I was mayor of New York City, third or fourth, fifth largest government in the country. I was mayor during a very difficult time. I had to turn it around. I have a record of cutting taxes, lowering the size of government, moving hundreds of thousands of people off welfare to work, reducing crime, things like that, and having to deal with threats. So people should look at your full record and see the things they agree with and things they disagree with, and then come to a conclusion, and not allow people to be labeled in little pigeonholes. We have too many important issues to let that happen to us nowadays in America.
Mrs. Giuliani, what do you think about this entire process? What do you think?
Judith is a nurse. This comes from the perspective of being a nurse.
It's interesting, and it's so much fun because I love meeting people. And so I grew up in the Pocono Mountains myself. I'm probably the only one here that's got on my old ski boots, but I'm all ready, and I'm excited.
Good for you. Final question, a topical one. Following the State of the Union, what do you think about the President's Iraq plan for troop escalation?
I think that we've got to give it a chance. I think we've got to try to come out of Iraq with a situation where there's stability, where we don't make things worse. I think we've got to be really careful, and we have to introduce accountability and require the Iraq government to do the kind of job in Baghdad that they're supposed to do, with us supporting them and pushing them, and we've got to put a lot more pressure on them. I think the President recognized some of the mistakes of the past, which I think was a really good thing, and really the proof here is going to be in the pudding. I mean, we've got to have results, and we've got to also think beyond Iraq. We have to start thinking about the fact that Iraq is one part of our war on terror. This war on terror is going to go on whether we're successful in Iraq, which I hope and pray we are, or if we're not, we're still going to have to deal with the other threats that terrorism, mounts for us. And if we're successful in Iraq, those threats, I think, will be less. If we're not, they're going to be worse. But in any event, they're at war with us. It's not just about whether we're at war with them. The terrorists are at war with us, and we have to deal with this on a number of different fronts.